From Daggy Songs to Sustainability, John Brodie from Vim Sustainability joins us now. G'day, John.
Good afternoon there, Jason. How are you?
Yeah, doing all right. One of the things I love about working at 6PR is this opportunity I get to play songs that makes people cringe, but I kind of sit here and have a little giggle about it when I'm playing them.
Sounds like a fun afternoon.
Oh, it's great. Hey, John, I understand that during the week you were somewhere that Princess Mary was.
Look, I'm actually just recovering from a full-on week because I spent a lot of time with the Princess Mary entourage. And on Thursday, I was involved in the opening of a sustainable school in Victoria.
Okay, and so she came along to that?
She opened it.
Ah, okay, wow.
And it was fantastic because it's a whole new way of doing education, of doing schools. And the Victorian Education Department, I think they're called the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development, have committed to this whole new concept of sustainable schools.
Well, that's got to be better than what we're doing here in WA because our schools can't even afford air conditioners.
Well, look, the funny thing is this school has an air conditioner, but it's probably never going to get used.
Right. Okay.
It's a whole. What they've done is they've taken a portable classroom, and they've converted. They've gone from back to basics, and they've designed and built this portable classroom that's completely sustainable in every way that they can possibly do it, from recycling of materials right through to natural ventilation, daylight. Really great acoustics. The materials inside the building are all non-toxic. It's a fantastic building.
So it's not an unusual building, though, is it? It's not sort of it's got doors and windows and all the normal things.
It's basically a portable classroom. You know, your transportables that they put in to help when they get too many children, they get overloaded, and flexibility. It's a portable classroom, and that's why it's so exciting. It's because it's on a low cost base, and obviously they've got to do something that's cost effective. They wouldn't go and do it if it's going to break the bank. But we were in there. Princess Mary opened it because it has a fair bit of unique Danish technology in it, which was why she was involved.
Danish technology?
Yeah.
How's that going to help us in the Australian climate?
Good question. The Danes are leading the world in a couple of areas. One of them is renewable energy technology, primarily wind turbines. Because remember, Denmark generates more energy from wind turbines that it can actually use. So it actually sells energy to the rest of Europe. Yeah, they've really got that together. And they moved on that back in the 1970s during the first oil crisis. But the other area that they really lead the world in is the indoor climate. So indoor climate quality, they are the masters of it. And so they've got these fantastic products that regulate the daylight and the air quality and the cooling inside the building.
Wow, okay.
So they had some great research they talked about as well. The value to learning outcomes from a sustainable classroom. And when I say sustainable, it means fresh air and maximise daylight, and the fresh air helps to improve the indoor climate as well because it gets rid of all of the emissions inside a classroom, all of the toxic emissions from all the materials. If you've got a building that's got non-toxic materials, the emission side of it is minimised, but you've got the CO2 and all the body odours that come off the children and the people. So natural ventilation is a great way to get rid of those with minimal or very low energy costs. And what they've found is that some fantastic research. One example is that I think it's English grammar can improve by up to 20% through the use of natural ventilation and daylight in classrooms.
That's impossible.
It is possible. But the other thing, the thing that really blew everybody away was when they said that the research at, I think it's Aalborg University in Denmark, has shown that with a naturally ventilated and daylit classroom, a child learns from kindergarten to year 12 can do the same amount from kindergarten to year 6. A child can learn the same amount in kindergarten to year 5.
I mean, it sounds like a magic formula, but these kids definitely aren't missing out on anything. They've still got all the audio-visual equipment, computers, all that kind of thing?
But all that stuff, and the whole building is logged, so there's a whole computerised see what happens is we've got this window master natural ventilation control system. So all the windows are automated, and they have wind catchers on the roof, which are a top-down, top-out natural ventilation, energy-free natural ventilation system. They have all the lights, all of the air conditioning, and there is a small air conditioning unit in each school. It's all controlled by this window master natural ventilation system, which is designed to ventilate buildings and control them. And then they have all the inputs and outputs from the climate, because it takes all the external climate conditions and all the internal and all the lighting levels and all that. And it's all controlled by this system, but then it all spits it out on a big whiteboard, like an interactive whiteboard.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see what the school's doing or the classroom's doing at any time, and then they can play around with it, and the children can all get great learning outcomes. So it's got a great didactic outcome as well, because it's teaching as well as through experiential learning.
So having all these, this natural ventilation, that doesn't mean that we're going to have flies and stuff inside, does it?
No. You have screens on the windows, and you have screens on the wind catcher type things on the roof, and you have what else have they got? They've got all the CO2 sensors, so as soon as it gets, even if it's hot or cold, it will always make sure there's enough fresh air in the room to keep the learning capable. Because, you know, if the CO2 gets too high in a room, research has shown that people will wait till it's about 5,000 parts per million before they'll open a window. So, you know, I think the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Engineers estimate that over about 2,000 parts per million is starting to get pretty toxic. And if you have one of these automated systems, it will make sure that the CO2 never gets above about 1,000 parts per million. Now, what people say is, oh yeah, but anybody can open and close a window. And what the Danish say is, they say, yeah, but they'll open them too early or they'll close them too late. Yeah, or they'll open them too late and close it too early, and they won't get the effect of having natural ventilation because
automate it.
Yeah, automate it and use the experience they've got in 20 years of natural ventilation, and doing this to all their schools and all of their buildings. And it's funny, we were talking to the council in Melbourne. Now, Melbourne City Council recently naturally ventilated their town hall, and they've reduced their energy use in the town hall by 20%.
Sure.
So these are small things, but the outcomes to the children, when we're at this school, the teachers are actually told us they're all fighting over who's going to teach in the classroom, because they all want to get in the classroom.
Yeah.
The children are all fighting over, well, not fighting, but the children all want to go in that classroom. Now, there's only 2 classrooms, and you know, each one probably has about 25 students in each one. The school has 1,200 students, and it's in a low socio-economic area out the east of Melbourne. And all the children that we met all knew about the classroom, all knew how it worked. They all knew how the wind catchers worked. They all knew how the window automation system worked. They all knew how the lights, the lux levels interacted with the daylight levels. They all knew how the air conditioning was controlled by the natural ventilation. So when the natural ventilation can't deal with the temperature, if it's too hot or too cold, it turns the air conditioning on or off. And all the children knew about it, and there's like a computerised touchscreen that controls the whole classroom, and we're all taken on a tour through the classroom by the children, and you know, little 8 and 9-year-olds going, now this is where you press this thing here, and it opens, and it overdoes that, and overrides that, and controls this, and you can't do that because that will happen. Like, I was there with the General Manager of Education in Victoria. I was there with the Secretary to the Minister. And they were gobsmacked at how the children were so embracing it and so excited by it. And we're all standing inside this classroom. It was a very hot day. There was no air conditioning on. Everyone's wearing suits, and everybody was saying, how comfortable is it in this classroom?
Can't wait to see this sort of stuff start to spread out a little bit further, John. Look, I've got to let you go, unfortunately, but I understand you're off to Hong Kong for a couple of weeks.
Off to Hong Kong. I'm going to a conference at the Hong Kong University, and it's all about sustainability, urban sustainability in the tropical climate. And one of the big sections is about urban heat island effect, which, as I said a few weeks ago, is becoming more and more a big issue. Another one's about designing buildings for the tropical climate, and another one is around about the analysis of all of the research that's being done. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's right at the cutting edge of sustainability in the world, and there's some really fantastic professors and doctors and presenters and scientists and all that going. So, yes, I'm off there on Saturday. All
right, good. Well, what we'll do, when you get back, we'll have you back on the show again and you can tell us what you've learned.
Fantastic, mate. I look forward to it.
Good on you, John. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
See you. That's John Brodie there from Vim Sustainability. You can check out John's website, vim.net.au. It's 4:45.